Hello, welcome to another RX10 Trim Talk podcast. If you like what you see, or better yet, like what you hear in this podcast, please like and subscribe so you never miss more amazing stories. In last episode of Trim Talk, we talked about Through the Memories Part 1 and 2. And what I have to share was pretty eye-opening. What I had to share was basically Through the Memories Part 1, we traveled through the events of my elementary school, about all the cool trips that I've been on. Then we fast forward a bit past junior high, where the only thing I managed to do was do cross country. Well, that was pretty eventful. Yes, we won a couple too, and I actually knew what the phrase was, no man left behind. And a little bit about that was, there is one of my teammates that accidentally stepped in a gopher hole and rolled her ankle. I was obliged to help her to get her medical treatment. And that was the only exciting thing from junior high that I can remember. Now, from there, we fast forward to high school, where I had my first job, been through sports, and we come up to this part of Through the Memories episode recap. Now, welcome to part 3 of RX10 Trim Talk, Through the Memories, part 3. We left off on the last episode where I talked about my first vehicle. Now, my first vehicle was supposed to be an old pickup truck that was basically a Chevy Silverado. It kind of looked like an 80s bland colored, and I thought this was going to be my first vehicle. Sadly enough, it was too underappreciated from its previous owner for me to drive it. And a little bit of that, my parent sold it. But then, scrolling through the internet at the time, we managed to come across this 1994 Ford Bronco. Now, this Ford Bronco was a two-toned, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically two colors off the top and the top, mid, and bottom of the vehicle to create a two-tone type of scenario. Now that is something truly to behold. Well, with that also comes what type of vehicle it was. This wasn't just any 1994 Bronco. This was the Eddie Bauer edition, which the Eddie Bauer edition carries a lot of good quality cloth and is the top trim line that Ford ever produced for their American models. Now, this Ford Bronco was equipped with a 351 Windsor, which is the strength part of it, carried by a 4-speed automatic 3 transmission with an overdrive as 4th gear. This thing runs on good gas, I would say. I have been working on this thing for a long while. And circling back to 351 Windsor, this translates to a 5.8 liter V8. Now, a lot of my generation does not know engine types like the 351 Windsor or 289. That would probably be the older generation that knew what type of model what engine was. Today, it's all labeled in either basically my engine being a 5.8 liter and then a V8. That's all that we know of today. But enough information about the truck. This truck has been with me for the past, I would say, junior year of high school. And that is basically for a long time ago. I think it was back in 2016. No, 2015 I had this thing for a while. And it was pretty good to me so far. I have no complaints of this vehicle whatsoever. And for the past, I would say, the past 2026 minus 2015, for the past 11 years now, this 30 plus year truck has been good to me. Well, it's been through a couple of, not, I would say, like fender benders, but it's been through a couple of spark plugs, oil changes, transmission, tires, leaf springs. I can go on and on and on, but it wouldn't be that much of a through the memories part without me going totally overboard on the truck. It's been through one paint job, which I can gladly say that I've loved this paint job on it. And this truck's been good to me. Now, fast forward through the memories, this thing's gonna appear on my YouTube a lot and also on a series that I will gladly go on about. But other than that, this truck's been good to me so far, carrying me through the remainder of high school, a couple of jobs, and basically, well, I'm going to try to stop saying that word during these podcasts. It's been through a lot of, I would say, through the test of time for it being an old vehicle. It's been through a couple of ex-girlfriends, jobs, and it's gone through college, believe it or not, which would wrap up going throughout high school. Now, high school and this truck go hand in hand, believe it or not. When I originally got my license and drove the truck for my senior year, I did the going to guitar practice during high school. I've been through my unified sports and basically followed the team on the bus ride to and from the games, and eventually making it to my graduation. And that was a pretty big achievement on my night. Now we go rapid dash down the way to community college. Now, in the first episode of Trim Talk, I talked about all the way through elementary school, junior high, high school, and now we're off to community college. My community college, again, from the first video, was right across the street where I was born. Now, believe it or not, that was pretty cool. Take it from me. Being born on one side of the street, and then many years from now, going to the college on the other side of the street. Very small world. But when I was done and when I got to that point, I was actually pretty cool. Now, here's where the coolest part comes in. With me being a special education, along with that, it gave me certain leeway options for me to attend community college. Now, I'm not saying I got a free ride. I'm just saying I was very fortunate for me to be in a situation with my unique circumstances. Now, with that, community college was a little bit harder than it looked. I mean, it was better than regular college without a heavy tuition fee. Now I'm gonna stop and say this about one school that again is gonna be redacted. When my brother went to a college here in our state, they told him right up front, like, just an FYI, you're gonna take out a lot of student loans. Now, a lot of kids either have either scholarship or they pay their way through college with like jobs and all that. At least this school told my brother right straight to the front of the pack that, hey, you're going to take out a bunch of student loans, but we don't care if you go broke. We just need the money. Now I'm going to let that sink into your viewers. Do you think, in all honesty, that a school of that high caliber should be upfront about, hey, you're going to be taking out student loans about this, and be courteous about it, or just basically straight to the point where they're just trying to weed out which families can go to this college or not? Because that's what I got from it. And it just royally makes me mad that it just says like, hey, you're going to be going to community college, but yet you're going to be taking out student loans. Now tell me in the comments if that puts you at ease that you're going to go through college, but yet you're going to be taking out loans. Would you rather it be just straight to the point, like, hey, just FYI, you're going to be taking out student loans, and if you don't feel like taking out that, then we can recommend you to an alternative college or community college where it could be better for you? Or would you rather take the choice of them being happy, sunshine, going, about upbeat about it, and then they're going to sugarcoat it to say that you need to take out student loans for this college and not worry about it? Because to me, if you're happy, positive about it, and you take out student loans, you're going to forget about it, and then it's going to follow you for the rest of your life. Or you can make the smart tactical decision of them being upfront and figuring it out. So I leave that decision to you. Hit me up in the comments about what you should expect from a college. But on that, back to my college, I went to a department from our government called DES. Now, it's a lot different than the other department that you may have heard in our state. But in my state, back then when I attended college, through a recommended source through high school, they told me that they can help me with my unique situation and send me off to community college. Now, they told me up front, and this is the part where I generated that side story about they need to be upfront about it. They were upfront about everything in a good collective tone, and they only told me this: son, we can send you off to community college. We truly can. We have several conditions that we need you to follow. And me and my parent at the time were like, okay, we we accept any of your terms, just we need to know what we are walking into. They turned to us and they said, one, we need you to have good backing, which you already do. You have no criminal record, so we're basically putting half the confidence in you, which I had to thank them for. Then they were obliged to tell us that don't get into any fights, don't do any drugs, and we'll be just fine. I'd be like, shoot, I drink orange juice partly on the daily. I'm like, I'll do whatever you need me to do. And then they hit me up with this final critical notion that they said, look, if you provide us good grades with a C or higher, you can expect full backing from us. And we were like, are you serious? They're like fully backed by us at DES. But here's the catch that they told us. I was like, oh man, here we go. What's the catch? They told us that if you provide us good grades and all that, we'll fully back you. But if you have any poor grades among that, below a C, being either a D, an E, or an absolute F, I will lose the funding, they will cut me off, and I will be fully on my own. So aside from that, I was able to attend college. And then, aside from that, community college went good. I studied in automotive. I got 3 certificates of completion. I forgot what the certificates were exactly, but one of them was like automotive, the other one was about electrical work, brakes, and ethics, believe it or not. I've been through that school for the past 2 years, graduating with those 3 certificates. Basically, I got 3 certificates of completion, and it was pretty good. And then here's where my truck comes into the mix again. Unfortunately, during my travels with my truck to and from my college, my truck eventually broke down again. And it was the water pump this time, causing a coffee mixture of oil, coolant, and water to go all mixing up into my engine and causing it to leak out all of its coolant pressure and oil pressure. I was able to get limped all the way back to my guys, and again, basically, I was able to get it back to my shop with no problems. My future shop and my future employment that I would be working for, they were able to fix me up right as rain, and I was happy after a few engine flushes and a few engine flushes and a crap ton of money passed to them later. I was able to get my engine working right well. And then from there, I was able to be all good. So basically, it was pretty good. From there, I was able to continue my work throughout community college, and then graduated, and then moved to my future job. But aside from that, that job is still pretty good and still pretty ongoing. But looking at my time, I think that's enough time. And actually, looking at my watch, we are officially out of time for this podcast episode. So, if you enjoyed part 3 of Through the Memories, please like and subscribe so you never miss another podcast episode. I'm currently working on another video of mine that shows you how I do these podcasting episodes. So be sure to keep a look for that. Anyway, I think that will conclude our time for this episode, but stay tuned for part 4 of Through the Memories. This has been RX10 Trim, signing off. We will be back very, very soon. Stick around and stay tuned.